welcome, one and all, to our ancient play. Of tragedy and comedy, we've many things to say.
Sit right down and listen well. We'll tell you of the past, of who we are, what we did, and why our plays will last.
We Greeks are famous for our plays and for the actors' art. It was in ancient Greece, that acting got its start.
The actors, women weren't allowed to act, so all the she's were he's.
The
actors always wore masks to show who they would be, but women weren't allowed to act, so all the she's were he's.
The plays were given out of doors where the air was crisper. The theaters were so well built you could hear the actors whisper.
Comedies were non-stop fun, and no one fell asleep. But Greeks liked tragedies the best, and found them very deep.
They told of strife, they told of fate, they told of death and war. The audience would moan and weep, and sometimes cry for more.
The writers of these ancient plays, poets they were called, had many other talents to keep us all enthralled.
They had to write for dance and song. They had to write for dance and song. The design sets, producers and directors too, they really stood the test.
But in the end, at break of day, the poets' play would start, and people in their hundreds watched the actors play their part.
The contest would go on for days until the best play won. Then everyone would head for home at setting of the sun. The crowds are gone, the poets too, the wind alone still speaks, and reminds us that the greatest plays were written by the Greeks.
Speed, the story of Atalanta. In this myth, the men who fall in love with a beautiful young woman named Atalanta must race for her heart. This is no easy task, as Atalanta just happens to be the best runner and hunter in the Greek world, and the price of defeat in a race with her is death.
All these Greek stories are about men doing amazing things. Why aren't there any myths about women heroes?
Well, what about the story of Atalanta, one of the greatest hunters and athletes that ever lived?
Who on earth are you, and where did you come from?
I'm Artemis, the goddess of hunting, and be more polite to me in the future, my dear. I've turned people into trees for not minding their manners.
Yes, your goddess, I mean your huntress.
Don't worry about the titles, just listen to the story.
Scene 1. Atalanta meets Meleager.
When Atalanta was born, her father the king was sad, not happy, like many Greek fathers of his day.
I wanted a boy who would become a great hunter and make me proud. There's nothing I do with this girl. Just take her away and leave her on the outside somewhere.
What a rat her father was!
He was a rat, but he wasn't a successful rat. The baby girl lived.
But how?
Animals proved to be kinder than humans. A family of bears adopted the child and raised her as their own. They taught her all the secrets of the forest. She became a great hunter. With amazing speed, she was able to chase down her prey. And with sharp eyes and steady hands, she became a deadly shot with her bow and arrow.
But if she stayed all by herself in the forest, how did she become so famous?
I'm afraid I had something to do with that. One day I got rather mad at one of the local rulers, King Aeneas, for not paying enough attention to my temples. They were getting a bit run down, you see, and people weren't making offerings to me anymore. So I sent the good king a little present. Actually, it was quite a big present.
I bet he was pleased.
Would you be pleased if a giant fire-breathing boar with razor-sharp tusks appeared in your backyard?
Hey, boar, help me! Help my kingdom! Somebody do something!
What's so special about a wild pig? Send someone out to kill it. Put an apple in its mouth and have it for supper.
I'm afraid that won't do, my dear. Its razor-sharp tusks can slice down trees. Fire shoots out of its snout, and it is ruining all of our crops. I'm afraid if we don't do something, soon we'll have no harvest.
Well, it's the best hunters in the world out after it. Together, they'll be able to bring it down, I'm sure.
So a call for help went out from Greece's greatest hunters. Some of the top shots who showed up included a brave warrior named Jason and Theseus of Athens. Aeneas' son Meleager and his two uncles headed the hunting party.
What a group of hunters. This will go on as the greatest hunt of all time. Wait a minute, who is that?
Atalanta strolled into the middle of the crowd. Her beautiful hair was knotted in a ponytail. She had an ivory quiver full of arrows slung over her shoulder and a powerful bow in her hand. I heard you need someone who's a good shot. At that very second, Meleager fell in love with Atalanta. Unfortunately, not everyone was so thrilled to have Atalanta on the hunt.
Woman on hunt. Who ever heard of anything so foolish? She'll be nothing but trouble. I know it. Send her away.
No, she stays. I bet she proves to be the best hunter of all of us.
She's already bewitched her nephew. We'll have to keep an eye on her. Scene 2. The hunt.
Remembering their purpose, the hunters put aside their disagreements over Atalanta and set out to defeat the gigantic boar.
We'll search high and low for that overgrown pig.
I don't see that ugly beast anywhere. Let's look deeper in the woods.
So they stepped carefully into the darkest part of the forest. In the midst of tall trees and fallen branches, the hunters grew nervous.
Look out! Oh, sorry. I thought that stump over there was the...
There it is! My big boar had seen the hunters before they saw it. It crashed right past them, leaving them in great confusion. Their weapons went flying in all different directions. Only luck had kept the hunters from killing each other.
Oh, watch where you're throwing that tree next time.
I didn't throw that one. Mine landed over in that tree. Oh no, here comes the boar again.
Only Atalanta kept her cool. As the boar crashed through the trees, she aimed one of her arrows carefully and let it fly. The missile struck the boar behind the ear, knocking it down.
Now, Meleager, use your spear and finish it.
I'll try.
With that, Meleager thrust his spear into the unlucky boar, killing it and freeing the people from its deadly rampages.
I don't let you. You do the first blood. You do the tusks, hide.
Wait 1 minute, nephew. You killed the beast. The prizes are yours, not that she-bear's.
Hey, Uncle, watch your mouth. I don't let him deserve the prizes just as she deserves my love.
Prince, I don't know what to say.
I do! You're not getting any prize, and you're certainly not getting my nephew. You're just a nobody from the wrong side of the forest.
With that, the uncles turned their weapons towards Atalanta. Meleager was prepared, and in love and in a rage, he drew his sword and killed them both.
Scene 3, Althea's Revenge.
When Queen Althea, Meleager's mother, heard what happened at the hunt, she was torn apart inside.
How could my son have done such a terrible thing? He killed his own two uncles to defend that wild girl. My brothers must be avenged, but to avenge them would mean I'd have to kill my own son. What can I do?
After hours of agonizing thought, Queen Althea decided there was no other choice. Her own son would have to give up his life to pay for the death of his uncles.
Servant!
Go to the back of my closet and tap on the wall until you hear a hollow sound.
Break down the wall and bring me the chest I've kept hidden in there for all these years.
The servant did as the queen commanded. In time, he returned with a wooden box that had been covered with 20 years' worth of dust. Althea opened the box and pulled out a log that had been charred by a fire.
Put this on the fire.
The servant thought it strange, but did as the queen commanded. He returned to find the queen sobbing. I've carried out your orders, great queen, but could you please tell me why you've kept that plain old log for so long?
It's a story that pains me. One night, Meleager was only a baby. I sat before the fire, singing my child to sleep. I must have fallen asleep too, because I had a terrible dream.
What was it, your highness?
I dreamed I saw the three fates, the old women who weave the events of our lives together and decide when we are going to die, holding a short piece of yarn.
The police life would not be long. It would end with the log in the fire
What? I leapt up, and with my burning hands, I pulled the log from the fireplace. I hit the log and put out the flame so that no harm could come to my son. But now, my son has killed my brothers.
The servant turned to look at the log blazing away in the fireplace. Meanwhile, in the forest, Meleager and Atalanta were talking.
Atalanta, you're strong, brave, and beautiful. I'm seeing what's running it.
Meleager, you don't look well. You're sweating. You have a terrible fever.
I feel like I'm burning up. Please go give me some water.
Your Highness, the fire is almost out. Atalanta raced to meet her by the stream. She cupped her hand and cut up some water and returned to Meleager's side. When she returned, she found Meleager dead. In just a short time, she had fallen in love with him. Now, he was gone.
Some God's hands in this. Here's what I say to you. Since you've taken away the man I loved, I'll never love another.
With that, Atalanta disappeared into the forest, swearing in her heart that she would never, ever marry.
Scene 4, Risky Business.
Atalanta wanted to be left alone, but she was a little too late. News of the great boar hunt had spread far and wide, as had the word about her beauty. Her father, the king who had cruelly abandoned her at birth, came forward and invited her to live in his palace. There, young men, eager to win her approval, began camping out around the door.
what should I tell those men outside? They say they won't leave until you promise to marry one of them. Something's got to be done because we can't get anything done around here with that crowd blocking the doorway.
Send them away. Tell them I hate every one of them.
We tried that already, remember? Please, you go talk to them.
All right, but it's not going to be pretty.
Atalanta appeared at the gates of her father's castle and was swarmed by the hopeful suitors.
Marry me and you'll never want to look at another man again. If you marry me, I promise I'll stay right by your side forever.
If you all are trying to scare me, it's working. Okay, I'll marry one of you.
Yes!
The one who beats me in a race, that is.
We can't do that. You're as fast as lightning. Hey, there's no harm in trying, is there? I'll give it a shot. I might slip or something.
Oh, I forgot to mention the catch. If you win, you get to marry me. But if I win, it's death for the loser. And I'm serious.
Well, Atalanta, maybe you're right. We should just be friends. I just remembered I've got a problem with my Achilles heel. Better not race today. See you later.
Surprisingly enough, not all the suitors gave up. Some were so in love with Atalanta that they did race her, even if it cost them their lives.
Sorry about this, but I tried to warn you.
One day, a young man named Hippomenes came by to see a determined suitor challenge Atalanta. He couldn't believe that anyone would risk their life for some woman's hand in marriage. Then he saw Atalanta.
I must marry this woman, or I'll die. The only problem is, I'll most likely die trying to marry her. I think I'll need some divine help with this one.
He asked for help from Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Aphrodite, who was none too pleased that Atalanta had sworn to never love again, gave Hippomenes 3 beautiful golden apples and a plan to win Atalanta's hand. The next day, Hippomenes appeared at Atalanta's door.
Not another one. Don't you know what will happen to you?
But I'm sure I'll win this race. I feel the gods are on my side.
Some people just can't take a hint. Do yourself a favor and fall in love with someone else.
But the next morning, Atalanta found herself on the starting line with the confident young man. Hippomenes knew he stood in the very same spot where so many unfortunate suitors had stood before him. The signal was given, and the race began. For the first 100 yards, Hippomenes managed to keep up with Atalanta, but then she started to take off.
I'd better put my plan into action.
The young man took out one of the golden apples he had hidden in his tunic. He tossed the dazzling apple in Atalanta's path.
I'll stop to pick it up. After all, I've already gotten beat.
When Atalanta stopped, Hippomenes managed to get the lead. But when she got back in the race, Atalanta quickly made up for lost time.
Time for me to use my second apple. Just throw this one to the right.
Atalanta went after this apple too, although it took her way off course. She looked up and saw her opponent far ahead of her.
I've got to stop playing. This race is getting serious.
Coming into the home stretch, the runners were neck and neck. Hippomenes knew he had no chance against Atalanta unless he used his brain.
My last apple. Hope it works.
He tossed his last shining, shimmering globe right in Atalanta's path. Even though she knew stopping would cost her the race, she couldn't help herself. When Atalanta looked up from the apple, she saw Hippomenes crossing the finish line.
Atalanta, I've won. Now, marry me?
Yes, I'll keep my word, even if using these apples wasn't exactly fair, and be your bride.
And so they were married. There is another story about Atalanta and Hippomenes that says they were turned into lions by Aphrodite, who was angry that Hippomenes never came back to thank her for her help. But that tale will have to wait for another day.